Wandering Winder here, continuing my series on openings in Dominion. Today we're going to look at wedding, which is basically a way to pay to get a gold for more expensive overall, but cheaper on a particular turn. There are a couple of things to think about in terms of openings dealing with wedding. First is on a 4-3 or a 5-2. You could do this on a 5-2, but it's probably generally less exciting on a 5-2 to open wedding because, um, well, you usually just open with a fiver, but not always. It works just as well on 4-3 or 3-4. You can open wedding and nothing. Guess you could take a copper with it, but I would very rarely recommend that. If you open wedding nothing, you're going to hit 5 as long as this gold doesn't miss the shuffle. Right? The only way that a hand with gold in it could fail to hit 5 would be if you have gold, copper, estate, estate, estate. And in that case, the other hand is going to hit 5, right? Because there's only coppers left in the deck. So as long as the gold doesn't miss, you're going to hit 5, opening wedding. Also, there is a chance to hit 5 twice, right? If I have this hand and then bottom deck and estate, I'll hit 5 twice. That happens a little under 4 or a little under 5% of the time, 4.5% or so. Also, if the gold misses, you can still hit 5 too and hit 5 that way. So overall, you're about 92.5%, just a shade under 92.5% to hit 5 at least once, opening wedding and then paying the debt on turn 2. That's a little bit better than silver silver. And of course, you have a smaller deck compared to opening silver silver. So typically, wedding and pay the debt I think of as a superior opening to silver silver. So there's some particular reason that you really want a bigger deck or really want silvers or really don't want golds. Obviously, it also comes with a one VP chip. It is a little bit less likely to hit 5 twice than silver silver, but I think that tends to not be that important. Um, you're also very likely to hit 6 by opening wedding. We didn't do it here because we had 2 estates in the hand with the gold, but as you can imagine, that you will usually have at least 3 coppers in the hand that you find the gold with, so you're 60.6% to hit 6 at least once if you open wedding and paying the debt on turn 2. So that is the case for turn 1 wedding, which I think is a good opening, usually better than silver silver, but compared to some of the other openings we've seen, which are great openings, I would not put this in that category. It's good, but kind of middling in terms of opening. Now you may also be thinking about. I guess I need to get a different opening split for this. You may also be thinking about, well, what if I want to go silver and then wedding? I would not recommend that very often. So what happens is you get here and you have 3 debt. Now, it's going to be real hard to hit 5 if you have 3 debt. It is actually possible. You could hit gold, silver, copper, 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 and hit 5. But it's not that not that likely. You have obviously a much better chance of hitting 5 on turn 4 exactly, but in general, you're not going to be that likely to hit 5 on turn 3. And you're not that likely to hit 5 overall, right? Whoops. Pay the debt. Here we would, and here we would even hit 6, but it's just not a very likely thing. Here we were actually fortunate enough to bottom deck 2 estate, no, 2, 1 estate, an estate and a copper. Yeah, so pretty fortunate here. What often ends up happening is that your turn 3 you can only buy something that costs up to 2, and if there was something that good that cost 2, you probably should have opened that anyway. And then you're kind of just behind, right? You have a turn 4 buy which hits 5 pretty often, but not that often. And you have a gold and a silver instead of having, I don't know, 2 silvers and then a turn 4 buy and a much better chance of hitting 5. So I don't recommend opening silver wedding very often. If you want to know the percentages, you are still 65.4% to hit 5 at least once on turn 3 or 4 opening silver into wedding. And you still have a 31.4% chance to hit 6. Again, like we did here, that's basically both of those cases are almost always going to happen on turn 4. And it's pretty good chances for turn 4 exactly. But it doesn't really matter usually whether you hit it on turn 3 or turn 4. And you're really gutting your turn 3 by opening silver wedding. So I don't recommend it very often. I really don't recommend it very often at all. Yeah, and that's basically it. So turn 1 wedding, reasonable opening. Turn 2 wedding, pretty bad. That's the general gist of what we're talking about when we're talking about openings with wedding. Thanks for watching.